So, welcome again to Write Club, where there are no rules, just like Fight Club. There are no rules except that we don't talk about Write Club. Well, we do talk about Write Club. We just don't share what comes out of Write Club until it's ready to be written. Much like Fight Club, everything that happens here is completely in our imagination. We are creating our alter egos, just like that Brad Pitt character came completely out of the mind of I forget the other actor's name, but I actually really like him. But completely conceived in our imaginations. That we are here for the purpose of writing, for creating, for bringing out that muse, that alter ego that exists within us, that is a prolific writer. Almost like if we can say that the ego actually is the thing that we use and lean on to speak most of our communications in the day, during the daytime, during our week, during our life, because there's a certain rule of familiarity and expectation of that identity that we've created to people, whether it be mom, worker, corporate worker, grandma, daughter. There's a communication that we have that fits within that egoic identity that has been ascribed to us. And when we write, we give our soul the freedom to play with an alter ego, to play with what it is that wants to come out of us that might not look pretty and might not look like what society ascribes to what we have accepted as our roles. And today, especially today, we're going to look at what that role of the voice came from. And much like we were talking about, that there is also in every story, there's a hero and an anti-hero, or the enemy. But if we actually look at the enemy, at their backstory, we can actually start to have empathy for who they were before society ascribed them that. Who they were when they were not forced to be the voice of who they were. So we start to build an empathy muscle. We start to allow ourselves to create our writing, whether it be fiction or nonfiction, that gives as much depth of character, depth of knowledge to the person that we hate as the person that we love. And that's some pretty challenging stuff. Because when we start looking at the things that we hate, we're actually looking at our shadow. Because there are lots of things that we don't, we could read lots of headlines that don't trigger anything in us because they're not close to home for us. And certain headlines, certain stories, certain things that come up on certain days trigger something within us so strongly. And that trigger is actually power if it's given the right tools. But we have to harness those tools. We have to bring them into an understanding of how we write that character, how we write that story, how we write that new identity. Whatever it is that we push away from us is actually us not accepting into our lives. Is actually us keeping in the shadow. And when we're constantly in our shadow, we're actually in pain. Because every time that something triggers us and we don't let it come out and speak through us, why is it triggering us? What's that anger? There's no such thing as a wrong emotion. Anger is an emotion. And if we don't look at the things that make us mad, then we're denying a part of the whole entirety of us. We're accepting the identity that was given to us that says, ladies don't get mad, good girls don't get mad, be nice, be Canadian, for instance, on this Canada Day, or be a polite member of society, don't rock the boat. And so today we're actually going to delve into what actually makes us mad. We're going to ascribe characteristics that we don't like and we don't want to honor in ourselves. It's going to be tough. But if you're willing, there's a bravery to it. There's a courage to it. And when we write, we're building our courage muscle, our courage to be seen, our courage to be heard. So with that, I'm going to give us the guidelines for our free writing practice again. So we're going to be prepared. All you need for your free writing session is to get comfortable, your favorite notebook and a comfortable pen. Remove all distractions. Have some extra pens handy if you need it, if you think you might need it. When we start off on the top of the notebook, put the date and the topic. So it could be today's date and Write Club session number 2, or shadow work, or bringing out my evil twin. Whatever it is that you want to set the intention for, that's the focus. At the top of the page. Now that's going to keep you grounded. So if you do have a moment where you don't quite know what to write, look back at the intention and see what's blocking you. Is it the evil twin that doesn't want you to write? It's also really helpful to do this because as you start to collect your stories later when you're compiling it for your book, there might be one passage that suddenly you remember, but you don't remember quite where you wrote it. And as you look back in your notebook, the intention will trigger the memory of why you wrote that. And rule number 3 is keep writing. Don't stop to edit, to rephrase, to think, or to censor. Don't go back and read what you've written until after this free writing session is over. Trust your pen. Wherever it goes, stay focused on the topic and the image that arises. If you keep your pen moving, you'll bypass the censor, the resistance, the editor, the critic, what I like to call the itty bitty shitty committee. And eventually, if you're really lucky, you'll even bypass the voice of the ego that we were talking about, the identity. Continue in that, and that might be painful. But guess what? Just when the caterpillar thinks it's the end of the world, it emerges as the butterfly. So stay in the journey, stay in the metamorphosis. And along with don't read your writing, don't judge your writing. So whatever comes up, write it down. Don't resist. If there's a word that you don't know how to spell, don't worry about it. Trust that you'll figure it out after. If you reach a point where you can't think of what to write, just take a breath, relax your shoulders, loosen your grip on your pen and your jaw, open and close your jaw. A lot of tightness when we're writing comes in our jaw because it's the same energy as when we speak. It's our communication. And so very often we clench our jaws when we're holding back what we think. So if you're stuck writing, open your jaw, make that motion, let whatever comes up, let it come up. If nothing else comes up for the duration of the session and you're just staring into space, let that be. Accept that as well. There's always tomorrow. And above all, do not go back and read what you've written until time's up. Rule 6, tell the truth, even if it scares you, especially if it scares you. Remember, even sharing with anyone is optional. This is for you. You don't have to share. There's no rules in Write Club. Let your writing find its flow and form. So allow your writing to naturally take shape, whether it's a poem or an essay, a speech, a dialogue. It may look like nothing you've ever written before. It may look like erotica when the prompts don't ask for that. And yet that's the form it wants to take. Let the muse guide you. Break the rules. So don't worry about staying in the lines. Don't worry about spelling, punctuation. Don't worry about grammar, syntax, or sentence structure. There will be time for that later. And we all know creative writing has never gone by the rules. You've never once picked up a book, held it to your chest, and inhaled it so deeply because you resonated with the characters. I guarantee none of those books played by the rules. Allow your writing to surprise you. Be passionate, write about the things that are important to you. And then also we're building a muscle, so show up to write every day. When we have these sessions, this is a huge infusion, and let this power continue through for your writing Let it be more passionate, livelier, more astonishing to you. If it surprises you, you know you're onto something good because that's writing through you. It's not you writing. You're allowing spirit to write through your soul. And that is the ultimate. And when your session is over, we're going to read it out loud and listen for what works and what doesn't work. If you hear something that resonates with you, then it's going to resonate with your reader. And with that, you're allowed to turn off your cameras if you choose to. I'm going to go into the meditation. So remember, loosen your grip on your pen, have your notebook in front of you. And what we're going to do in this writing session, which is a little bit different than the last one, is we're going to look at what your memories were when you were in the womb, when you hadn't yet picked up the egoic identity. I'm going to turn off my camera so you're not distracted by me. So picture yourself. You're so deep in yourself that it is hard to find you. And from here, we're going to write a birth story, your birth story. You start the sentence with, I don't need my something yet. What would be the first thing you don't need yet? I don't need my this yet. Not here. I am becoming a thing from the inside. What is that thing I'm becoming from the inside? I'm learning how to I'm trembling and getting used to this. As you're writing this, just picture that you are in the chrysalis as the caterpillar sees it. I'm going to give you a few prompts from here. Choose the ones that resonate with you and write. I grow best when this darkness, it holds me. I'm building a completely new I am myself becoming available to in this womb. I have the capacity to grow my I live here, coming into this world. Who knows me? Who wants to know me? I move as the mountain and the moon moves. It is a difficult thing being born. It is a beautiful thing being born. It's a terrifying thing being born. My life is evidence of I came here to learn the lesson of I came here to teach the lesson of I agreed to keep silent about I agreed to pretend to not know about in this agreement I made with life. I agreed to forget about in this agreement I made with life. I agreed to forgive about in this agreement I made with life. I agreed to fight about I am no longer willing to forget about I am no longer willing to forgive about I'm no longer willing to fight about I'm going to give power to the thing I've kept hidden. I'm going to speak the things I've kept silent about. I'm going to shine a light on the things I've kept dark about. One thing I hate is one thing I hate is, and find a deeper, more penetrating hate. And what I hate even more than that is and what I hate even more than that is and what I hate the most is Now finish the sentence. My silence has kept me. My fear has kept me. My shadow has kept me. And as you finish off your writing, finish it off with no more, no more, no more. And as you're just finishing up that last bit of writing, I'll give you this poem by Toni Morrison. For many are the pleasant forms which exist in numerous sins and inconsistencies and disgraceful passions and fleeting pleasures, which men embrace until they become sober and go up their resting place. And they will find me there, and they will live, and they will not die again. Just take as many minutes as you need to finish up that writing. And when you're done, take a big inhale, put down your pen, take a big cleansing breath and a sip of water. Beautiful work, writers.